My guest today is Maurice Bullock. He's the guy who moved to Dallas from New Jersey. His security agency providing services to celebrities and businessmen over here in Dallas and around the country. And he has quite a few interesting stories for us. Please, sir.
Yes, thank you. I've been down in Texas since 1994. I was a little nervous, being an 18-year-old with no family down in Dallas. And I knew I wanted to go to college. I knew I wanted and I had the opportunity to get a basketball scholarship. And I also wanted to get away from the snow.
So, how tall are you, Mo?
6'6".
Were you successful when it comes to basketball?
Yes, we high school wise won a state championship, county championship 3 years in a row. It was Essex County when we played was a lot tougher. It was sort of like Detroit, Indiana bad boy days. But yeah, and then moving down here, this school, Collin County, never made the playoffs.
Okay.
So 20 year, we were the first in school history to make the playoffs. So that was my goal. Because for one, I don't like losing.
Right.
And then two, we wanted to be the first to do something.
And what was your position when you played?
Power forward.
Power forward. So, what was the biggest defeat that you experienced?
My biggest challenge playing basketball was when I was playing professionally in Mexico. We won our first game and then we lost 42 in a row.
How did you survive mentally?
It was You loved the game of basketball and you knew that eventually it was gonna eventually turn.
Wow. So, and how many years did you play in Mexico?
5 in Mexico and 5 in Belize.
Okay. And which place did you like better?
Oh, Belize by far. It was the name of the team was what is it? Creme, the newspaper.
Mhm.
And we won the championship the first year, and it was an exciting time. And I didn't understand the culture in the beginning, but things basketball is a universal language. So you can play. People speak English. Some people over there speak Patois. So it was more of a that was our language to speak to each other. And each team over there is only allowed to have 2 Americans, which they call us imports because we cost a lot.
I understand. Let's go back to Jersey. So, you moved to Dallas, and did you go to Jersey at some point, or
Yeah, after, you get homesick as a 18-year-old, you want to go home over Christmas break. And so, I go home, visit some friends, family, of course. So I went back to my old neighborhood, and just one day I was walking through the park, and I was held up at gunpoint. Um, and I didn't have much. I had my watch, my wallet, whatever. But as the person that was, robbing me came from the side, asked me for the time.
uh-huh.
And then when I looked down, the watch, which I don't do anymore, but when I looked down, then I had a gun to my chest.
Okay.
So I'm I'm pissed off because I got caught. I would say in my term slipping. Got caught slipping, and I was really disappointed in myself, and I was angry. And so we talking, and he's like, give me your shit, give me this, and so the more this person kept talking to me, I'm like, he sounds familiar. And so I'm getting him. So he's like about 5 minutes of like interaction with him. He's threatening he's gonna shoot me and all this. And then it hit me, and I said his name. And then he paused and was like, "How you know my name, mother effer?" And I'm like, and I was like, "Hey, it's Fresh." And then that was my nickname in high school. Like, it's Fresh. I said, he paused and he backed up. And then he just broke down in tears and just said he's just messed up in the game. And I give him like $20, but that's just to, ease the tension. But it was more like I just wanted to see and hear his side of the story and what happened, because he was he was doing okay in high school as a kid. I'm like, we all were, high school. But what happened? So he got into just drugs, hanging with the wrong people, and it took a toll on him. And he started using from time to time. And he said that he has to do what he has to do to get money. And I was just like, well, I said, robbing people is not the answer. But, talking to someone that's on drugs about their habit, there is going to go in one ear, out the other. Yeah, I asked him, I said, well, what are you doing? What you doing later? And he goes, I got more work to do. And I said, well, what do you mean work? And when I was leaving, he put his hood on and he said he was going to go rob someone else. I'm like, I guess nothing I could do about that.
Yeah, well, it was quite a welcoming back home.
Yeah. Being in security and understanding because you got to find your niche. Some people, when they're in security, they're just in the nightclubs. And some people, when in security, they're into just guarding athletes or rappers. And those rappers and their entourage and nightclubs, that's not what I do. That's not what we do. You look at those situations, the athletes are never the problem. It's the entourage. And then most of them are young. And after the club closes, no one wants to go home. It's off to the strip club. And you're looking at a 5, 6, 7 o'clock morning by the time you're done. So you out there for like 12, 14 hours and with your head on a swivel. And like that doesn't sound too fun.
Okay. So, what exactly is your clientele? Like, how exactly?
I would say actors, um, let's see, actors, athletes that are more, I would say, on a professional level. See, working with certain actors and athletes, everyone has their own, I would say, their quirks, so to speak. Working one year it was for a weekend. We had this one particular um, female artist. She gorgeous female, gorgeous actress whenever she does it, but she doesn't like mirrors in her room. I we just so we had to take all the mirrors out. We have one awesome female singer, diva. She likes to come into her room with the smell of rubbing alcohol. She just likes the whole room to be just disinfected.
That reminds me of As Good as It Gets with Jack Nicholson. You remember him going with the gloves. So
Yes.
that is,
But it's when
how
now
difficult it is to adjust to these things, because again, I mean, if you like when we are talking, right? This stuff sounds. I lived in New York, so yeah, I've seen a lot of weirdos, and during my years of residing there. But one thing is you pass this guy on the street or this girl, right? Another thing is you're working for that particular individual and you need to adjust to that. You don't ask questions, you just do what you need to do, right?
Yes, you roll with it. I would say, for example, if you've heard of FanFest or Comic-Con, we've done I would say a few of those: Denver, San Francisco, and Dallas. The fans that show up in the costumes that they wear, it's from Batman, Wonder Woman, right, Avatar, and all latex. I get it. It's an outlet for some people, but for someone who's not in that world to see it for the first time, I was shocked, because I actually saw some people that I knew. And when they approached me and they're looking at me like, "What are you doing here, Mo?" I said, "I'm working. What are you doing here?" I was over the security for Tony Romo's wedding. So yeah, of course he wants some publicity, but if you notice, you never saw any of his pictures from his wedding leak out.
Right.
So what I did was I made everyone check their cell phones like you're checking a coat. And if you didn't want to check your cell phone, then you take it back to the car. Because he had a camera, disposable cameras on a table to capture the moments for himself. But yeah, people were not happy with that. But again, this is what the client wants.